This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. So we have a lot to talk about today, guys. It is very exciting. I believe we are really about to see a stampede of money flood into this space from the institutional level to the everyday consumer / and retail investor. I really do. And I think I'm about to show you evidence of that right now. So let's go ahead and get started. But before we do, let's do the numbers, guys. This morning, the numbers are brought to you by PureVPN. I use many different layers of protection to hide my anonymity and protect my security online. PureVPN is one of them. They've been around since 2007. They are a fantastic company. They're one of the largest companies out here providing VPN service. Make sure you check them out. There's a link in the description as well as many other links for things that you may want or need while you're in this space. So make sure you check that out. 7 days, 99-cent trial. So let's go ahead and do the numbers this morning. Bitcoin is $10,706.59. Ethereum, $351.25. XRP is 24 cents. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So right now what we're looking at is 0.2410. The market cap is 10.8 billion plus. The 24 hour is up about 1.2%. We're looking at a 1.4 billion plus 24-hour volume, and the total circulating supply for XRP right now is 45 billion. 97 million plus. Those are your numbers. Okay, let's get into it. We got a lot to go over, and let's try to keep it as tight as we can as we move through it. Massive regulatory clearance. Things are getting ready to happen in a large way. Ripple partner Neum Open Money is the tag, and it has joined forces with Singapore-based fintech company Aspire to create virtual Visa cards for corporations to make payments via Google Pay. Now, this is what we're leading with because it just keeps getting bigger as we move through this. Watch what happens. So we go through this. Ant Group launches a cross-border trading blockchain platform as it prepares for what could be the largest stock market IPO of all time. Ant Group partnered with Standard Chartered, Deutsche Bank, and BNP Paribas to help optimize the cross-border trading. Most of you know and understand Standard Chartered is obviously working with Ripple and partnered with Ripple, and so is BNP Paribas. I just brought this up so you could see Ripple partner BNP Paribas to launch EFX trading engine in Singapore. And this is exciting to me because we're not just talking about crypto. We're talking about partnering with entities that are doing FX trading engines. We're going to talk about derivatives. We're going to talk about what derivatives mean. We're going to talk about how big the news actually really is getting here, and it's enormous. Remember when Brad Garlinghouse talked about just a few days ago, over 70% of central banks around the world are looking at deploying central bank digital currencies, and one thing that's crystal clear is the importance of interoperability. Well, I tell you what, it's no wonder he's got a smile on his face the way he does in this picture. Because I'm telling you right now, the interoperability is going to be provided by the ILP, the XRP ledger, and maybe a few other networks, but that's how that's going to roll. You will see. As we go forward here, we just recently, a couple days ago, had the OCC come out with another letter that allows federally chartered banks and savings associations authority to hold reserves on behalf of customers who issue certain stable coins. If this interoperability is going to work, we're going to need to be able to get people from their fiat situation or their asset situation to a tokenized version of that, albeit a stable coin or a central bank digital currency or a security token. Hang in there. We're going to get to it. Remember when this came out last year, right before we went to Swell last year? And this was David Schwartz putting forward his XRP Ledger stablecoin proposal. Now, if I just scoot this ahead a little bit here, just Yeah, so you see, what is a collateralized stablecoin? Tokenized asset whose value is expected to remain constant in some units. Units are typically fiat. The stablecoin system has a backing asset. The stablecoin may or may not be redeemable for the backing asset. And then it goes on and on. It is an amazing 20-minute video. You should look that up and watch it, or search where I covered it back last year in my playlist. All right, let's keep moving, because again, the CBDC deploying from central banks, the stable coin getting the allowance here in the U.S. for federally chartered banks to be able to hold the reserves for those issuing stable coins. This is all, in my eyes, setting up the ability for every level of industry participant or retail consumer to participate in the new digital system and monetary system that is really being launched before our eyes and rolled out before our eyes. And no one can really participate in this system until they get to a place where they can have their money changed over to either a stable coin or receive a CBDC to participate in the network. That's where it's all going to start. So let's keep moving. CFTC, registered crypto exchanges, a new bill proposes a voluntary path for that. Let's take a look at that very quickly here, because new legislation has been proposed that, if passed, would create an opt-in pathway to regulate U.S. cryptocurrency exchanges under a new national level framework. The Digital Commodity Exchange Act, we covered this when it was announced just not long ago, such as Bitcoin, endeavors to regulate the trading venues which list emerging digital commodities such as Bitcoin, Ether, their forks, and other similar digital assets for trading. The wide-ranging legislation introduced by Michael Conaway is the first of its kind to emerge from Congress, which to date has largely focused on adding definitions for digital assets to the federal code. Now, it's introduced, right? It's not passed. It's not signed into legislation. All of that into law. But it's introduced. We're all going in the right way. If you're not seeing a theme building, hang with us here. Chris Giancarlo, working on the Digital Dollar Project, former head of the CFTC. Look what he thinks of what was just introduced by the people in Congress, Conaway, Darren Soto, and Tom Emmer, and staff on the Digital Commodity Exchange Act. Kudos to you. Builds on the CFTC leadership in cryptocurrency and successful self-cert process for new products. The DCEA gives needed regulatory clarity and spot market oversight. Smart. Now, that is an endorsement right there. Now, moving forward, we just had this come out late yesterday, and I tell you, head on a swivel in this space. This is big, and it says the SEC issued a no-action letter authorizing crypto security tokens to trade on registered cryptocurrency exchanges. Now, before we look at these things, let's make sure everybody has what they need to understand the definition. So a digital asset is a digital representation of something of value for which ownership is verified and recorded on a distributed ledger. A digital asset is most commonly regulated as a currency or property. On the other hand, a digital security is a digital representation of an asset that happens to be a security, often an investment contract for which ownership is verified and recorded on a distributed ledger. A digital security, which is subject to traditional security laws, is often referred to as a security token. Let's go back to the document. This is what was issued as a no-action letter from the SEC yesterday. So if we go into this, and I'm going to read every single letter of this, but I'm going to give you the highlights here, and I want to go through this. So first of all, an ATS in this document, in this letter, is really referred to as a alternative trading system. That's what that stands for, that trade digital asset securities. Okay, so securities are basically derivatives, right? We're talking about products sold on top of an underlying asset. That's what we're talking about here, right? So this is really going to be expansive and talk about, we could have security tokens for companies, we could stocks, bonds, we could have security tokens for property and real estate. It will become the larger part of the market than just cryptos in general. And this is a no action letter saying you're good, you're getting the pass, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at this. The Division of Trading, U.S. Securities Exchange Commission has written here, the joint staff represent views. The joint staff is not a rule, regulation, guidance. Hold on one second. I want to get to. And ATS is a trading system that meets the definition of an exchange under federal securities law, but is not required to register as a national securities exchange if the ATS complies with conditions to the exemption provider under the rules it shows here, defining what an ATS is. And then we go down, ATS must register with the commissioner as a broker-dealer. For the purpose of this no-action letter, it gives you here, digital asset refers to an asset that is issued, transferred using distributed ledger blockchain technology, including but not limited to so-called virtual currencies, coins, and tokens. Digital asset may or may not meet the definition of a security under the federal securities laws. For purposes of this no-action letter, a digital asset is not a security, is referred to as a non-security digital asset, and a digital asset that is a security is referred to as a digital asset security. So we had the definitions, we get them here, more clarity. Let's keep going. So looking at this, it takes you through what they're saying. Step 1, the buyer and seller send their respective orders to the ATS. Step 2, the ATS matches the order. And step 3, the ATS notifies the buyer and seller of the match trade. And 4, the buyer and seller settle the transaction bilaterally, either directly with each other or by instructing their respective custodians to settle the transaction on their behalf. Since the issuance of the joint staff statement, several broker-dealers seeking to operate an ATS that trades digital asset securities have asserted that 4-step process described above increases operational and settlement risk. Instead, they prefer the following process, the 3-step, which is 1, buyer and seller send their respective orders to the ATS, notify their respective custodians of their respective orders submitted to the ATS, and instruct their respective custodian to settle transaction in accordance with the terms of their orders when the ATS notifies the custodians of a match on the ATS. Step 2, the ATS matches the order, and step 3, the ATS notifies the buyer and seller and the respective custodians of the matched trade, and the custodian carry out the conditional instructions. There you have it. So look, what I can tell you is, and I'm not going to read the rest of this to you, and you're more than welcome to go see this. And shout out to Michael Val 5 Links, DJ Peter Vass, and XRP Crypto Wolf, and everybody else has been just amazing. Bond Crypt and so many others have sent amazing material. But what I want people to get out of this is that there is now a no action letter authorizing crypto security tokens to trade on registered cryptocurrency exchanges. This is enormous. This is enormous in the sense that you're talking about really moving to a place that we've all really dreamed of in the larger picture of everything being tokenized. If I go back to just this video with David Schwartz, when he is talking through this entire video and laying out for you that really the idea of the XRP ledger is that you can create stable coins off the ledger. You can create a stable coin off of XRP. You can create a token of any asset of value and represent that on the ledger. So you're talking about stocks, bonds, right? Oil, right? Anything that could be tokenized that is an asset of value and have a tokenized representation of it on the ledger. This is where we're going, and this is where that's headed. So then just a day or two ago, we saw that the XRP Ledger Foundation was established on September 24th to promote the development and the adoption of the XRP Ledger. The XRP Ledger Foundation received $6.5 million in donations from Ripple, Coil, GateHub, as well as support from industry leaders and scholars and the XRP community. So this is important to me too, because I believe not too long from now, this is a huge signal that Ripple, the blockchain infrastructure company, is looking to separate itself, to decouple from XRP and the XRP ledger in the manner that they are clear and away a separate company compared to what the XRP ledger and the XRP token are. That has always been the big hang up. That's what we're still waiting for today, is people to make that clarification that it is not a security, right? And I do not believe that it is. What I believe about all of this motion that's taking place, whether it be from the regulatory side of the OCC, the SEC, or the CFTC, or Congress introducing legislation, or whether you're talking about the moves that Ripple are making right now to really, really make a clear line in the sand that here we are as Ripple, the blockchain infrastructure company, and here this is this decentralized universal highway that with the ILP creates an amount of interoperability that just is inclusive for the world and all things that can be tokenized, period. Whether it's cryptos, whether it's fiat, whether it's CBDCs of fiat, or whether we're talking about stable coins of fiat, or whether we're talking about tokenized security tokens to be put on the ledger and traded. And now we're talking about the door opening now for us to really have a real discussion about the entire derivatives market across the world being settled through distributed ledger technology and security tokens. I believe the stock markets of the world, the commodities exchanges of the world, are about to get the biggest facelift we've ever seen in the world. And it is really remarkable, and it's something I used to say quite often, and I'm going to say it again right now. What we're witnessing rolling out right in front of our eyes is the greatest financial paradigm shift that has ever happened in mankind, and it cannot be overstated. Through the foundation, they will support and provide resources to other building applications and infrastructures for the community. And then here we go. XRP will level the playing field in the international trades payment system. You don't say. RippleNet on-demand liquidity service allows financial institutions to transact in real time across global markets using XRP, and it can also support the direct exchange of CBDC. This is what I just got done saying. You hear this term level the playing field all the time. You hear this term financial inclusion all the time. You hear all of these things, and they come from many different levels of finance and government and regulatory agencies. The reality is that I believe this is what we're seeing right now. We're seeing the SEC speak on security tokens and security token exchanges, right? You know, alternate trading systems, right? So to me, this is about to open the door about as wide as you can get the door open, if not rip it right off the hinges. We are headed to a new paradigm. This isn't a change in the markets. This is absolutely a transformation. It will never return to what it was before. This is an incredible time to be alive. I'll tell you that. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. There is a stampede of money. Institutional level knows exactly what that SEC and no action letter means. And things are about to get wicked pretty quickly, I believe, going forward. So this is remarkable. Hit that like and subscribe, share with somebody you know, and I'll catch all of you on the next one.